Well, the United States trying to figure out exactly what it should do, at least the Obama administration trying to figure out what it should do with regards to Syria. Thought it a good day to talk to somebody who actually has just come back from Syria. He is Major General Paul Vallely, U.S. Army retired. He's on the line right now. General, I want to, before we get into some of that, I need to just sort of set the very latest news and information about what's going on with regards to Syria. Yesterday, here's what the president had to say about this.
First of all, I have not made a decision. I have gotten options from our military. I had extensive discussions with my national security team. We do not believe that, given the delivery systems using rockets, that the opposition could have carried out these attacks. We have concluded that the Syrian government, in fact, carried these out. And if that's so, then there need to be international consequences.
President says that the government carried these out. However, in the last hour or so, there's been a story from the Associated Press with the following lead, General. The intelligence linking Syrian President Bashar Assad or his inner circle to an alleged chemical weapons attack that killed at least 100 people is, quote, no slam dunk. This comes from U.S. intelligence officials. The last item I want to bring to your attention, the Russians have just moved additional naval assets into the eastern Mediterranean. Now, General, what do you read into all of those things?
Well, good morning, Brian. It's been a long time.
It has.
Glad to be back with you again. Well, my team has been in, this is the third trip into Turkey, southern Turkey on the Syrian border, and last week we spent considerable time inside Turkey, some 100 kilometers all the way into Aleppo with an armed convoy. So we were able to meet approximately 8 different generals who had defected from the Syrian Assad regime, as well as about 60 commanders. And they represent the true opposition force, which is the Free Syrian Army. So I was able to get updates and briefs. We were there, of course, during the chemical attack in Damascus. So I can tell you from the get-go here that Assad has had plans to use the chemical weapons. This is the fourth time he's used them. We reported last year when he was using chlorine gas, and we had the photos and videos of that. So part of his tactics, Brian, is that now that he's getting pushed into a corner, he only really controls 3 areas in Syria right now. The province of Tartus, which is the port where the Russians base out of in the Mediterranean, and the Latakia province, as well as about half of the districts in Damascus. So his plan always has been he would be pushed to use chemical weapons as he has air attacks on the...
So there's no doubt in your mind that this was at the direction of Assad?
Assad, absolutely, no doubt about it.
And why do you believe that? Based on your conversations with former Syrian military commanders?
Yes, and they still have links into the regime over there, so they validate it. And when you meet the Free Syrian Army people, there's no way they would attack their own people.
Well, why would the CIA be saying that it's no slam dunk?
Because they don't know what they're doing. The CIA is so ineffective now. Their intelligence is so bad. Even in Turkey, the CIA station chief based in Istanbul, he can't get into Syria. So we don't have any human intelligence coming out of there other than what my team has provided.
Wow.
General Vallely, you said that you're working with the Free Syrian Army. Can I ask you, what are you doing there? What are you, a retired U.S. Army general, doing with the Free Syrian Army and the opposition?
I'm probably a little crazy.
But do you have an official role?
But what is your goal?
I was invited over there last year by the Free Syrian Army to get a briefing on the humanitarian situation and the need for medical supplies. So I teamed up with a Canadian medical team from Toronto, and at that time, Assad regime was targeting the teenagers, shooting them in the hips, as well as all the bombing that was done. So I had a good insight there as to the tragedies that were going on with a guy that's as bad as Hitler in persecuting and attacking his own people. So that was all vetted, validated on the ground, and we went back again in November at the request of the Free Syrian Army. Colonel Riyad, you may remember him. He's the commander that had his leg blown off in a car bomb earlier this year.
And General, you call the Free Syrian Army the true opposition army, but we know that there are other rebel forces with very nefarious connections. Some factions of Al Qaeda. I mean, is there any possibility that Al Qaeda terrorist-related rebels could use a chemical weapon to draw U.S. Forces into this fight?
Well, sure, it's always possible. You know, it's then what the delivery system is. And we know from inside information that the Russian technicians as well as Iranian technicians have been working with the Syrian Air Force because it takes about 2 hours to get the sarin prepared and loaded into the rockets and missiles, which can be delivered from land or from the air. So the rebels, even if they're Al Qaeda, Al Nusra, mostly Muslim Brotherhood-led rebel elements, which have come in, within the last 6 to 7 months.
I got about 30 seconds left because we got to get out here. But I just want to ask you, is it a good idea for us to take an attack against Assad forces or a bad idea?
Well, it's a good idea. We have to work through proxies over there, and I'm bringing the message back that Free Syrian Army can bring Assad down in about 30 days if the Air Force is eliminated. And we gave him the 8 airfields into our government. It was delivered to the Pentagon.
And there are guys that you consider good guys in the mix.
Yeah, the Free
that
Syrian
can
Army.
prevail.
They will. And they do not like the Islamists. They do not want a Sharia government. They are pure secularists. They're excellent people. They're better organized than we thought. They're prepared to put in a interim government with a cross-section of people that have defected out of the Assad government, and they're very qualified. So they've got a good plan. They need support, but they need the air taken out.
We'll have to leave it right there. General Paul Vallely, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.